First-Lien HELOCs and insurance and IBC.
Yeah,
and all
insurance
kinds of stuff.
planning overall. Insurance planning.
And real estate investing right here. So we really have, this is really everything that you need in one room, which is incredible. Yeah. Did you agree with that?
I do agree.
We need to do a seminar, man. Stop playing.
I think it'll be
a lot
awesome.
of people been asking. I'm gonna be honest. I did a video with DeAndre, one of our first ones when we had Reggie on, and you got to see the amount of people that actually want to have a seminar.
I thought it would be great.
You guys want a seminar? Let me know in the comment section.
That would be great.
Well,
that would be fun.
I think it'd be great too, because the questions that we're going to address today.
Yeah.
The way we have to do it is we receive the question after the fact, and the only way to really address the question is to then come and do a podcast later on afterwards, right? Where what I find is it can be really powerful when people have genuine questions about something to ask in front of the group. And you know what? If they pick it apart and they pick the whole concept apart and blow it apart, good for them.
Yep,
right?
exactly, man.
But the reality is that what I found is that it's really great to provide immediate feedback to people. So when people have a question in front of the group, then to have an answer that is able to help answer the question that they've got can help realign their thinking, in line with the way that the direction that we're going to, but also can fix misconceptions in real time.
Most of the misconceptions that come through in the comment section is due to shorts, YouTube shorts and short 1 minute videos. So people they
snip what they want.
They snip what they want out of a 1 minute clip, and their comment is always correct. So my man DeAndre has a message for you guys.
Well, so my message is, when you are on YouTube, there are some rules on how to watch a podcast. Number one, everything does not apply to everybody, right? So sometimes you're watching these podcasts, you're looking at it. Oh, well, it doesn't do that. Oh, you can't do that. Well, one, in financial services, we recognize that each person we meet is different and has different circumstances. So sometimes, like I've seen on infinite banking ones where they'll say, oh my goodness, how could a person spend $30,000 a year on an insurance policy? Well, you may not know people who have that type of money. And if you don't, that's okay, but don't shoot it down as this is some kind of impossibility.
Right.
So that's number one. Or you hear some stuff about the HELOC, and most of the time people don't know the budget of the person you're sitting in front of to develop all of these different case studies that you have. So I can definitively say there are times when paying double the mortgage could work. Yes. And there are definitely times when paying double the mortgage is not going to be more effective. I have some clients who make $35,000 a month and their expenses are $10,000. Guess what? The mortgage is $4,000. I'm sorry to tell it to you, but double the mortgage is not going to work better. It's important that people understand that, because they think that you're trying to lead them in whatever type of way. Now, the next thing I want to say is...
well, can I hop on that just a bit?
Go ahead.
Because I think that I agree. And one thing that I've noticed about you, DeAndre, and Jamel, yours is a little different because you have a model that will work. For if you follow the model, and it will work for you. You do these steps, and you look at these numbers, and it will work, right?
100% of the time.
It's not the case for you,
right? Absolutely.
And it's not the case for me or for the First-Lien HELOC. So if the perception from
just to add on to that, the model works, but there's a lot involved in it as well. You got skill sets, you got experiences, you got how much money is available to people. I got a video on YouTube, just kind of tying in with what you were talking about, how it doesn't apply to everybody, right? So I have a video is how to buy your first rental property, even if you're broke. It's my most viewed YouTube video. It's almost at 3 million now, right?
Nice.
A lot of people watch that and they're like, man, this can't work, or that can't work. And I'm like, what are you talking? I do this all the time. I mean, it doesn't work for you if you don't believe it doesn't work. Right? You know what I mean? Or if you don't put in the work to make it work.
You don't put in the work.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, I think that one thing I've noticed about you, and one thing that I try and do, and I'm really purposeful with as well, is to make sure that when I walk through my concepts, and I've noticed when you do the same thing, I try really hard to not present it in a way that is, hey, you have to do this. This is the be all end all, right? Yeah. And I think that if that's the perception, then I need to work on the way that I'm presenting stuff, right? But I do try really hard to make sure to say, look, here's when it works. Here's when it doesn't work. The reality is it's just mathematics, right? And sometimes this math works to people's benefit better than this math does, right? Because it's just numbers, and there's a strategy here, there's a strategy here, and you've got risk tolerance, you've got understanding of how financial vehicles work, you have what's your end goal, you have what your cash flow look like. All those things come into play when it comes to what's the financial vehicle that you're or set of vehicles that you're going to use. And so the idea that, if someone says the math doesn't work, I can prove that wrong, right? But if someone says this philosophy is wrong, right? Well, you know what? Our portfolio at the bank is living proof that it's really good for a lot of people.
Well, they have to create the scenario to make it wrong.
Right.
That's the problem. Right.
Usually the scenario.
Right. Yeah, like if you don't have any cash flow, yes, velocity banking will not work. Let's go ahead and repeat that one more time. Velocity banking, first lien HELOCs are not for you if you don't have cash flow.
Meaning if you don't make more money than you spend.
Yes.
If you don't have a surplus. And I'm not talking $100 a month you have surplus. We're talking you make a good amount more than you spend and you're disciplined with your finances. If that's not the financial picture that you're living, there's nothing wrong with it, but this is not going to be for you. And so what we don't do is I don't try and sell this to everybody.
Right.
What I try and do is I find the right people who will fit with this. Right?
Which are
people who cash flow well.
There you go.
Yeah. That's it. And there's nothing else to it.
Cash flow well. They understand a budget. They understand the in and out.
Yep. And they can stick to the budget. Right?
And they can stick to a budget.
So I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I think sometimes there's a perception that when the attempt is to educate people on a strategy,
you're trying to sell
that all we're trying to do, we're just trying to, hey, look, here's a thing, we're trying to teach you about it, it may be able to help you. And I'm not trying to sell you on it. I mean, is there an incentive for me to teach this strategy and find people who are good fits for it? Yes,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
But that being said, and we were talking about this earlier, our calls are more about finding people that it doesn't work and telling them not to get it instead of trying to sell people when it doesn't work.
As a matter of fact, just to prove that, if you've been on a call with either Anthony or DeAndre and you've been told not to do it, leave a comment in the comment section.
Oh yeah,
because we want to hush the naysayers.
Yeah,
everybody think that somebody's trying to sell them something all the time, which is that is the case.
Somebody is.
But somebody is. Well, but we're really trying to provide you with value. Now, are our services free? No. Like, I don't provide free coaching. You asking for my time. I don't Deal Pro Accelerator program. Check it out.
Deal Pro.
But seriously, I don't provide free coaching. You can't get a free course from me. It took time for me to put that together. Do I provide free value? Absolutely. Look at it. Look at this YouTube channel. Look at some of the communities I put up. Look at the calls you get on with DeAndre. He's trying to find a way to tell you why it wouldn't work for you. And if it does, then he's happy to take you on as a client. Same thing with Anthony.
Yep.
So it's not that we're trying to sell you something. We're trying to provide you with the information. And if it doesn't work for you, we're trying to prevent you from hurting in the long run.
Yep.
That's what this is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one thing that I want to be very clear to people, and this is something that I've actually transitioned into saying on all of my first calls, whether it be the first lien HELOC or whether it be the infinite banking concept using whole life, it's a privilege, not a right. Like, we want to make sure this is very clear to you.
Now, what do you mean by that?
So everybody doesn't qualify. It's something you have to qualify for. So I think sometimes when people, and it's amazing to me, especially that it applies to the insurance industry, like they say, oh, if you're selling If you know somebody who's doing insurance, they're selling insurance. Well, let's just go ahead and get this out the way. You can't sell insurance to somebody who doesn't qualify for the policy. If you don't qualify, you're not getting sold anything, right? So that's first and foremost. Now, I can inherently go on anything that you invest in. You can invest without being qualified to invest. There's so many people who don't know what they're doing from, a standpoint of investing.
Hey, what's up? It's Jamel Gibbs, your family-oriented entrepreneur. Listen, I really appreciate you watching this episode. Be sure to like, subscribe, click the notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.